Hi everybody, I'm Robert Murillo with Compass, Florida.
And I'm Giovanni Figueroa Sanabria with Remax Prime Property.
And we're here in the heart of Ocala, North US Highway 27, Ocala, Florida. The horse capital of the world, ready to show you one of the most luxurious gourmet kitchens the city has to offer.
This 30-acre oasis includes granite countertops,
139 cabinets,
HD television right over the layout of the kitchen so you can enjoy that entertainment when you're with your friends and your family.
an industrial vent hood over a 6-burner gas stove with a griddle and convectional oven.
Thermador stainless steel appliances, and enough pantries to fit you and your family.
The pantry is big enough to sleep in. Trust us. We're going to introduce you to one of our partners, Alexis Little-John with Holistic Essentials, and show you everything that this kitchen has to offer.
You don't got to take our word, we can just show you.
This is our special guest, Alexis Little-John. You may have already seen her on one of the episodes of So You Can Florida. She's with Holistic Essentials, and she's going to be showcasing this luxurious gourmet kitchen and telling us a little bit about her business as well.
So hi you guys, my name is Alexis Little-John. I am a certified holistic nutritionist and also a restorative wellness practitioner and a plant-based chef. So today in this amazing kitchen, I am going to be showing you guys how to make vegan chicken salad. Now, if you've been following the recent trends on social media, you probably saw the vegan chicken salad and tuna salads, but this right here is going to be different. Shout out to Mom Dukes for sending me the recipe that I used to eat back in the day. Southern roots all in full effect. So I'm taking that vegan tuna salad, my mom's recipe, and recreating something that's going to be nutritious and delicious. So today, I've already chopped these onions up because onions make me cry a little bit, right? So I've chopped some of the onions up, chopped some of the celery up. But if you notice here, we have a chopping board, you guys. This chopping board has a trash can.
All right, so tell us a little bit more about this cutting board and what you're about to do here.
So this cutting board is great. For one, every cook needs this in their kitchen, right? But what I'm going to be doing is chopping up a few of these celeries and then placing it with the rest of the onions that I have in the bowl right there. So pretty simple. I have my knife here. This is a ceramic knife. So I'm going to break off maybe like one of these celeries because I personally am not big on celery, but they're nice to add a little zing of flavor. So what we're going to do, we're going to chop this celery up, and you'll notice with this knife, it's super, super sharp. So if you're using these ceramic knives, you want to be careful. And one of the reasons why I use ceramic knives is because it doesn't allow the food to oxidize, right? So you're probably asking, what is oxidizing? So if you've ever cut an apple, a little bit after you cut that apple, you'll notice it turning brown. This is the process of it oxidizing, and this is what happens when you place that stainless steel against that apple. It will begin to oxidize. So as you can see here, I've chopped up a lot of this celery and it is good to go. So what I'm going to now do is take our celery and put it into this bowl. Once you're done, you just close it up like so. And then we transition over here. And honestly, this probably takes the longest part of the whole vegan meals, but it's so worth it. But one thing that really makes my meals really delicious is the fact that I always clean them with Kangen water. Kangen water has really changed my life. I actually bought my machine about 5 years ago, right? 5 years ago, and it's truly changed my life. So I always wash my fruits and vegetables in the Kangen water because the Kangen water has the ability to remove pesticides from your fruits and vegetables. And I'm actually going to do a quick demonstration too with the Kangen water because every water does not do this. So I have this tea bag here. I'm going to make tea without boiling the water. You'll even see it happening right now. Look at it making the tea. What water is doing that? The way that it's structured is able to pierce through that tea bag and instantly make tea. Regular water is not doing that. That's why Kangen water is so phenomenal. So that in itself is proof that this water is like no other. I didn't even have to boil the water, right? So this is quality water. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna soak our onions and celery and just kind of make sure we get those pesticides off. The water is gonna go through the veins of that onion and the celery And we're gonna let that sit for
Now,
about a few minutes.
pesticides, something that's common in all fruits and vegetables. Is that something that you would suggest everybody does?
So yes, you need to wash your fruits and vegetables. And that's one reason why I decided to get the machine, is because I don't want to bombard my system with all those pesticides. And oftentimes when we're eating out, they're not washing your stuff, right? They're just kind of, you know, maybe rinsing it with tap water. And we know tap water, depending on where you are, it has different contaminants based upon the state you're in. So you really want to be sure you're getting clean drinking water. That's a little tidbit on that. If you want more information, email me at we@holisticessentials.com and I will give you information.
Kangen water machine. Is it something that can be hooked up to a sink, perhaps maybe like something like this?
Absolutely. So you typically have your diverter kits that you can hook it up to your sink, and it's an easy setup. You can hook it up anywhere. You can take the machine with you. I travel with my machine all the time. I've been in over 30 states and I always carry my machine with me, so I don't have to buy bottled water. So it makes my life so convenient. And then what I'll then do is I'll fill my machine up with this water bag here, all right? I'll fill it up and then I'll have fresh water daily without having to purchase bottled water. Back to our meal. You'll notice that I already have our chickpeas here. I have already soaked them. I am that person that will go get the dried chickpeas, soak them for 8 to 10 hours. Then I boil them for about an hour and they're ready to go. Now we're going to actually wash our mushrooms. Now a lot of people don't like mushrooms, right? We have all this dirt on the mushrooms, but we're gonna wash them in the Kangen water to take off the dirt. And we'll let those sit for a little bit. And while we let those sit, I'm going to focus on the jackfruit. We're gonna get this jackfruit chopped up and ready to go. So for now, let's wash our mushrooms. So pour all this lovely water on them. And we're gonna wash our mushrooms. And that's all you do, you guys. And what I'm gonna do is help them, because mushrooms, of course, grow in dirt. So we want to get all this dirt, kind of rub them a little bit, help it out just a little bit. And
now, how long does it typically take for a meal like this to prepare?
oh my God, this is super easy. So buy your chickpeas and soak them. They will start out really, really small, but then they will expand as they sit and soak in the water. You can also get organic canned chickpeas. Anytime that you buy cans, they typically have chemicals that those cans can release into your food. So you don't want to consume that. So always get that BPA-free lining. Make sure that those cans are offering organic beans and you're good to go. So I personally just get them dry out the bag, let them soak, and then go from there. So what I'm doing now is just kind of rubbing these mushrooms, kind of helping them out, get some of that dirt off. And then what I'll do is rinse them in a little bit. I'll let this sit for like 10 minutes. And while I'm letting this sit, I'm going to
Wow, that water really got dirty.
It is.
It really cleaned out the mushrooms.
Yes. And it makes a difference as far as how your food tastes
and
as
the
well.
quality of the food.
Yes. And I know we all have busy lives, but taking the extra time to do these types of things is really important. So how are you guys liking this kitchen so far though? This kitchen is amazing, right? We have 2 sinks. Right, we have 2 sinks, so it's super convenient. If you were watching me over here chopping everything, you literally turn around, you can wash your hands, you can do whatever you need to right behind you, and then you have another sink directly behind you as well. So it's so functional, and you have all of this space to chop. Now
this is a huge island with a breakfast bar. I mean, it doesn't get any better than this. Could you imagine your whole family's here preparing food for Thanksgiving dinner?
And on top of that, it's granite countertop, so I don't even really need this cutting board, right? Another thing I want to highlight, this kitchen is so great. These drawers have places to put your knives, okay? You can put your knives right in here. It's super, super nice. So you don't have to worry about your knives being all over the place, because if you've been in most people's kitchens, their knives are just kind of all over the place. These knives are so nicely placed. They all have a place to go, and easy peasy, right? So I'm grabbing my next knife. This is also a ceramic knife, and I'm going to continue prepping this jackfruit. So this jackfruit has a chicken-like texture. This is really what makes this recipe different from the other ones, because most recipes only have the chickpeas and then they add the other onions and the parsley and other seasonings, but this right here gives it that chicken texture. And then once you season both the jackfruit and the mushrooms, oh man, It's something incredible. So I'm super excited for you guys to try it, and it's going to be really good. It's quick and easy, especially if you pre-soak your chickpeas overnight. You pre-soak those chickpeas overnight, they'll be ready the next day, and you'll be good to go. Just boil them for an hour, and then everything else is really super easy. And one of the biggest things about plant-based eating that really makes it challenging for a lot of people, you have to season your food. If you do not season your food, you're gonna hate it. You're going to hate it, and I feel like that's with anything. Typically when I cook, I am not the person that measures everything out. I go based upon how I feel, what it smells like, and as long as it's not a herb that has too much salt in it, you can play around with it. The salt typically brings out the flavor, so you don't want to ever overdo it on the salt, but you can be very creative. So you'll see in a few seconds here after I finish chopping this up, and we're gonna put it in the pot and we're gonna get things going. But this right here, you can even look at the texture, it looks like chicken. One of the things about this chicken salad that I appreciate so much is the fact that it's so versatile. You can have it with crackers, you can put it in a wrap, you can put it on bread. One meal with all of this included, you're getting about 20 grams of protein. How awesome is that?
This looks like something you should be chopping up on the cutting board over there.
Yeah, I definitely could be chopping that up and disposing of it immediately,
at the
but
same time.
That's why you're here. You can definitely take that away at any time. Don't be afraid. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna rinse these really quick. So now that we have rinsed these off, I'm actually going to dump these in this container here. And then I'm gonna take our jackfruit in this container. We're gonna rinse this off too. Now mind you, this jackfruit is organic, but I always like to rinse anything that I have. So we're gonna go ahead and rinse this off a little bit, let it soak, and we're gonna begin chopping these mushrooms up. So one of the things that I appreciated about this kitchen is the fact that they have warming drawers. Now, last year at Thanksgiving, I cooked about 14 dishes. 14. And I enjoyed it. However, the part that I did not enjoy is the fact that I did not have more than one oven. I had one oven that I had to try to keep everything warm. I had to time everything up and people were coming over. But here in this kitchen, I'm gonna take a quick pause from chopping and I have to show you guys this. Do you see this? This is every cook's dream. You have multiple warming drawers. Like, everybody needs this because you don't want your food to be continuously cooking, but you want to stay warm for your guests. So having those types of things in your kitchen is really going to make your life a lot easier as a chef, and then everybody enjoy your food because your family members come over and they're talking about you like, oh my God, it's cold, that food was cold. You don't want that. So having those features in this kitchen really makes all the difference. Now most people do not like mushrooms because of the texture. Now let me share a story with you. I did not like mushrooms when I was a kid. Growing up, you could not force me to eat mushrooms because for one, they looked weird, they taste funny, and they were slimy. But as I got older and of course began eating more plant-based foods, a lot of people that were cooking them, I still did not like them. It wasn't until I started cooking them myself and seasoning them myself was when I began to appreciate mushrooms. And one of the key reasons why I put it in this recipe is because they hold so much flavor. And a lot of times the reason why people steer away from eating plant-based options is the fact that it doesn't have the flavor that they need. It's not holding the flavor, and most people are just seasoning their food with salt and pepper. And if you season your food with just salt and pepper, I can understand why you're not eating vegetables. You can't do that. That's a no-go, okay? So with these mushrooms, they absorb flavor really well. So if you're looking to spice up a dish and you really want to taste all the rich flavor, putting mushrooms in there and seasoning them with whatever you want and then adding them to that dish is really going to add some flavor and texture. So now we're actually going to head over to our stovetop. We have 6 gas burners. We also have a pot filler. So rather than having to grab a big pot and just carry that water over. And if you're cooking all day, no one wants to keep transporting that water. It's heavy, right? So you have this to then extend to every part, makes your life a whole lot easier. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn this baby on. Yes, indeed. So what I'm using here is grapeseed oil because it is good for high heat temperature. And they are going to cook down. The gas oven it cooks your food evenly, right? And when I start cooking these mushrooms and put this smoked paprika on there, you guys are going to be really surprised. You're going to think we're at a barbecue. So typically when I'm cooking, I don't really measure. I eye a lot of stuff. This is probably 2 tablespoons worth of smoked paprika that I'm putting on here. And I'm also going to do, it's a chicken seasoning, but it's not chicken. It has everything but chicken in it, you guys. So we're gonna pour this into our pot too. So I'm gonna put at least, I would say about a tablespoon in here. And then from here, we're gonna plug in some of our black pepper. Not gonna overdo it with that, but we're also gonna put that in there for maybe about half a teaspoon of this black pepper, some garlic powder, a little bit of that as well. We want all these flavors to get on here really good. Once I add the extra in there, I'm gonna add some more seasonings. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt in this to bring out the flavor. I'm gonna throw in some of this basil too. I love basil. Basil is something that really brings out a lot of flavor too. We're gonna bring in our salt. So with the salt, I don't like over salting things. You have to put enough salt to bring out the flavor. That's all I'm gonna do. Boom. That's not even a tablespoon of salt. As you can see, this is cooking down really well. And what I'm going to do next, I'm going to take this, I'm gonna let it cook down a little bit more, and I'm gonna transition it over into that bowl. And let's go ahead and turn this off for us. And pour this in here. I'm gonna turn this baby back on and then pour a little bit of oil back in there. And then we're gonna grab our onions and our celery and we're going to lightly saute them. I'm going to add a little bit of the garlic powder on them, along with a little bit of the garlic salt and parsley. So about a half a teaspoon of that parsley, just a little bit. We're gonna let it catch all the other flavors that were in there from the mushrooms. So as you can see, it's starting to kind of caramelize a little bit more. And I'm gonna turn this off. That's all I wanted, right? Just enough. Add this back in here. Add this back in here, mix this around and let this begin to absorb all the flavor. And now we're gonna head back over here. We're gonna put this back. We're gonna focus on our jackfruit. I'm just gonna kindly take this, pour that water off. So yeah, we're gonna get this going next. We're gonna turn this all the way up. And we really, really, really want to make sure this is good to go. So, I'm gonna cook this over here. We're gonna season this. I am going to head over here. I wanna chop some garlic cloves up. I wanna blend them in my blender, and we're gonna put them in here to add some extra pizzazz to this recipe. So right now, I'm gonna take a few of these garlic cloves. We're gonna take these, and I'm going to actually blend them here.
So now that things are getting hot in the kitchen and the heat is building up, the vent is actually in auto mode and it started working on its own. So that goes to show you the efficiency that this industrial thermidor stainless steel, oh, I put some stains on it.
Over here it's gonna get loud for a second, but we're not gonna be loud for too long. That's all I wanted. Inside of our jackfruit. It's not a lot. A little bit of garlic goes a long way. So we're gonna let this cook down. You can leave those in there because I will blend the rest of them in with the chickpeas. So we want this to cook down really, really good. And if you want to grind up some more of this black pepper and put in here.
How do these things work?
So you just twist.
Just twist?
Twist. That's it.
Look at the flick of my wrist.
Ooh.
Look at the flick of my wrist.
Do it. Add some more, a little bit of that grapeseed oil.
This, oh, right here?
Yes. Yes. So we've been cooking this maybe for about 7 to 10 minutes. Turn it down. It is good to go. So now we're going to transition it to this bowl over here. I'm going to take all of this flavor and we're going to mix all of this stuff around. We're going to take all of this, flip it. Then what I'm going to do next, I'm going to transfer this into this bowl over here. I'm going to transfer this into this bowl because it's almost at the point of mixing in our chickpeas. Look at all that. It's wonderful. And look at our tea still thriving, you guys. That tea is thriving. The last and ultimately the final step is take this chickpeas and we're going to blend them. And then what we're going to do is mix those chickpeas in because we want these chickpeas to be at a nice consistency. Need this to put the chickpeas into this container like that. And you're probably saying, oh my God, why are you blending them? You're gonna see in a second. You don't want to over blend them, but you want to blend them enough so that when you mix them in, they blend well. I always do that, mix it around. Wonderful. We're gonna take this, dump it. Oh man, the texture is so good, so good. And I like to leave some of them a little chunky in there. You don't want to blend all of them up. I'm gonna leave that texture and our chickpeas. So you're probably saying, okay, this does not look like no chicken salad whatsoever. What are you doing? What are you talking about? So I'm mixing this in, folding it in, right? Making sure it blends well. But the next part in this process, I want to then put in our mayo. You have to put the mayo in there to give it the little life that it needs. We're gonna use our vegan mayo. I am gonna go over here and grab, oh, I do have a knife right here. So we're gonna pour this mayo in there. This is looking like 3 tablespoons. Might add a little bit more if it needs it. Mix, mix, mix. Oh, I think this might be the one, y'all. Might not need no more mayo. Oh yeah, we lit. Mix that around. Mix that around. Yeah, so about 3 tablespoons of that mayo. Say about 3.5 cups of those chickpeas, about 2 cups of your chopped mushrooms, and then we had 2 cans of our chickpeas. Now, we got a couple crackers back here, you guys. We got the Triscuits, we got the organic, and we have the almond flour crackers.
You can find a spoon in one of these.
It's so many cabinets. Did I tell you guys 139 cabinets? But you have so much storage. If you're a person that loves to cook and have family over, this is what you need. This bus. This is what we need. And it's smoky. I like it.
That's it right there.
This the one?
This the one.
It's the one. So yes, you guys, super easy, filling, protein-based, plant-based dish. Easy to make. And we made this, what, in less than 40 minutes? Super easy. It's super flavorful. So you can have this on a wrap, you can have it on a sandwich, you can eat with crackers, and it's the perfect finger food. So I hope you guys enjoy. Thank you for allowing us to show this beautiful kitchen. Thank you, Robert, for inviting me.
We're gonna go ahead and showcase the rest of it.
Yes.
Like she said, there's 139 cabinets in this kitchen. You already saw the 6-burner gas stove with the griddle.
You can pretty much put your pots on this to keep them warm as well.
You got the pot filler here.
Pot filler.
Industrial vent hood.
You
all
can
by
keep
Thermador.
everything warm.
You got the Thermador dish warmer.
You can steam things in here, you guys. A steamer. And then here, you also have another warmer as well.
This is actually a spice rack. 2 spice racks on either side of your cutting board. Let's say you were chopping up meat, right? And you're chopping up meat, you can simply open up your spice rack, grab your spices, and go ahead and season your meat while you're at it. We have another trash can here while you're cleaning dishes. If you happen to have a plate that still has waste on it, You can go ahead and throw it away in there. You have your Thermador stainless steel dishwasher.
We have 2 drawers. Every woman needs it.
So your knives are no longer on display or available if in case there was any kind of danger.
Yes, for little ones. So you can store these knives away. You have 2 drawers. You have one over here and one over there.
Your ice maker, separate ice maker.
And the placement of these are perfect.
Look at this, look at this.
Yes,
So
love that.
convenient. If you needed to put ice into your blender, you have it right there. Then you have your mini fridge by Marvel. So here, as you see, is stocked with Gatorade. And then it's a dual fridge at that. So we got bottled waters underneath it all. Then you have a couple of kitchen drawers, and again, more warmers. So when you entertain your family for Thanksgiving, you're keeping your food warm all along, no matter how many dishes you're putting together. Also, not to mention the display you have right above your kitchen sink.